I do want to turn to another startup that is shaking things up, and that's the cryptocurrency startup MobileCoin. It's raking in some new funding, $66 billion to be exact, to scale its privacy-protecting payments platform. Well, MobileCoin is a privacy coin designed to protect users' identities and the details of their payments on a blockchain. Joining me now is Joshua Goldbard, founder and CEO of MobileCoin. Joshua, hi. Thank you so much for coming on the show. So look, privacy protection, I think, is probably for most people the most important thing when it comes to any transactions on the web. How is your company different in trying to really add another layer of protection here?
Thank you so much for having me as a guest on the show. I think one of the key differentiators for MobileCoin is a set of cryptographic innovations that help to protect users' payments. So the essential thing about MobileCoin is that there's no third party in the middle that's monitoring your transactions. All transactions are between you, your counterparty, and that privacy is preserved. There's obviously a lot of things that go into making something like that, but I think the real key thing is that it's incredibly fast, it works on a cell phone, and there's no third party in the middle.
What's the demand that you're seeing for this?
We've seen just really incredible demand for MobileCoin. We've seen over 1 million transactions on the network since we turned it on. We're seeing new user signups all the time. People are downloading our wallet. It's been an incredible response. And I think our investors are really excited about that. In this round, we had participation from Coinbase Ventures, from Alameda Research, from General Catalyst, and we also had participation from Drake and Big Boy. And I think what's really interesting is that people really, this message of privacy just resonates with them. There's this feeling in the world now that we just have given up a lot of privacy to social networks and things like that. And I think that at MobileCoin, we really believe in an alternative future where people have a possibility of having privacy in the 21st century.
Is Drake a user of MobileCoin?
You know, the beautiful thing about MobileCoin is that we don't actually know who the users are. So, you know, I wouldn't be able to tell you that, to be frank.
But an investment from Drake, I mean, that's a pretty big deal. Why did he tell you that he wanted to get behind your company?
So I think that a lot of people around the world actually use tools like Signal and like MobileCoin to protect their privacy. If you look at things around the world, it's public knowledge that Signal is, as a messaging platform, is the only messaging platform certified for use in the United States Senate and the European Parliament. And I think that if you look at the way that people live right now, a lot of people are trying to have privacy. So tools like MobileCoin are really essential for that.
It's fascinating. In terms of what is ahead, explain to me the path to profitability, Josh, in your business model.
Yeah, so MobileCoin as a cryptocurrency tries to keep fees as low as possible. It's governed by a decentralized organization called the MobileCoin Foundation. Right now, it's about 0.4 of a cent to send a transaction. MobileCoin, the company, makes money by helping people use the ecosystem. And so there are tools for merchants to be able to sell items to consumers, and there are tools for consumers to help them to manage their money. And so those are the two ways that MobileCoin makes money.
Now, are you looking to tap the markets again? Perhaps not the capital markets per se, but the VC market. And how do you get the word out there? I mean, there are a lot of, I think, investors, potential startup founders watching this show, and they want to know, well, how do I do it? So how do you convince someone like Drake to get on board?
You know, I think the answer is that you have to tell a compelling story. It's important for people to understand what is the change that you're bringing to the world and why it's valuable for people. I think the biggest thing that people want to hear is a narrative of a large addressable market, a product that is competitively differentiated, and a plan to execute that is just exceptional. And I think if you have that three set of things, it's actually pretty easy to get people to believe in what you're doing. The trick is being able to convince yourself of that story so you can tell it to other people, I think.
So, and I know Signal is a user of the private messaging platform of MobileCoin. And so in terms of partnerships in the works, Josh, what's in the works down the road?
So we don't make any forward-looking statements about relationships or partnerships that we have. We're really excited about the partnerships that we have today. There have been a number of organizations that have integrated. The two most prominent are Signal and Mixin Messenger in China. Mixin is pretty public about the number of transactions they have on their network, which has been over 1 million. Signal is a little bit more private about the way those things work. MobileCoin as a company, we've designed it so that we actually don't know how many transactions or how many users are using the network at any given time. And so the only stats we have are when people choose to share with us. And I think that that's a really different thing. It's not like Venmo where, every transaction is observed by Venmo. The only thing that we know is kind of the gross volume that's occurring, not the amount of money that's moving through the network or who's transacting.
Do you hold a cryptocurrency like Bitcoin on your balance sheet?
MobileCoin does not disclose its holdings of any kind.
Is the price of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, the volatility that we see, does that impact your business?
Oh, absolutely. So I think that the volatility of cryptocurrencies in my mind is actually a function of having a relatively new market that's maturing. A lot of times as we see greater news coverage come to markets and more investigative journalism and things like that, then we start to see less volatility because there's just more information in the market. So I think any new financial market has this issue of price discovery and this issue of just understanding what's going on. And so I think as we have more information, this volatility kind of smooths out. And we've already seen that with Bitcoin and really every financial market over time. So I would say that the volatility that we see now is a function of time and a lack of information.
Joshua, thank you so much for coming on the show. You'll have to keep us posted. That's Joshua Goldbard. He's the founder and CEO of MobileCoin. Very cool.